December 23, 1990. That night, the house was filled with Christmas spirit, decorations, laughter, and the excitement of a young girl. But upstairs in one of the rooms, a different kind of celebration was being prepared. Karla had planned a special gift for her boyfriend, Paul. But this gift was alive, and her name was Tammy, Karla's own sister. That night, she never woke up. And this was only the beginning. Let's rewind a bit. Fall of 1987, at a conference held in Scarborough, a crowd had gathered at a hotel focused on animal health. But among the crowd, all eyes drifted to one figure, a young man, charismatic, confident. On the other side, a blonde girl, unable to take her eyes off him, smiles, shy glances, and then a few words. Their meeting lasted only seconds, but it was the first step into a lifetime of darkness. This was the beginning of Paul and Karla's relationship, a relationship that would bring hell to their victims. Before we continue with this dark story, don't forget to support the channel by subscribing, liking the video, and leaving a comment. Paul Bernardo was born on August 27, 1964, in Scarborough, Ontario, Canada. On the outside, he seemed like the perfect young man. Blonde hair, athletic build, polite smile. He had a talent for earning people's trust, but behind that charm was a deeply disturbing urge for control and power. His childhood looked ordinary on the surface, but learning a painful truth about his family at a young age changed everything. His father had committed serious crimes and been sent to prison. His mother, overwhelmed by shame, withdrew from the rest of the family. Paul began to see her with resentment and disgust. Slowly, anger built up inside him. He developed a twisted view of relationships, one where dominance and pain replaced affection. For him, control meant power, and that became an obsession. Eventually, those dark thoughts turned into action. In 1987, a series of nighttime attacks began in the Scarborough area of Toronto. Women walking home alone were targeted, frightened, and harmed. Authorities couldn't catch the person responsible for a long time. The media gave him a name, the Scarborough Attacker. While playing the role of a devoted boyfriend by day, at night, Paul stalked his victims and vanished into the shadows, without leaving evidence, without remorse. It was during this time that he met Karla. For the first time, Paul found someone who didn't run from his darkness, and even more dangerously, someone who would join him in it. Karla Homolka was born on May 4, 1970, in Ontario, Canada. She was often described as friendly, cheerful, and caring. In high school, her love for animals stood out, and she later studied to become a veterinary assistant. But beneath her bright personality, Karla had a deep need to be accepted, a need that slowly turned into unhealthy devotion. She was just 17 when she met Paul. From the start, she admired him deeply. He seemed confident and intelligent, someone she saw as ideal. And to keep his attention, she was willing to do anything. Over time, their relationship changed. Paul began testing her loyalty in unusual ways, but Karla didn't pull away. Instead, she followed his lead, even when things became dark. Eventually, she crossed a line. In an effort to prove herself, she became involved in something that would change both their lives forever. From that point on, they weren't just a couple. They became a team walking a dangerous path. December 23, 1990. For the Homolka family, it was a typical Christmas evening. The house was filled with decorations, warm food, and wrapped gifts. 15-year-old Tammy, Karla's younger sister, smiled as she helped everyone with joy. But that night, Karla and Paul had planned something very different, a secret gift meant only for each other. Paul had been showing an unhealthy interest in Tammy for a while. Karla, instead of feeling concerned, chose to accept it and made a deeply disturbing decision. That night, after everyone went to sleep, Karla went downstairs and prepared a strong sedative, something she had access to from the veterinary clinic where she worked. She mixed it into a drink. Paul set up a video camera. Karla helped prepare Tammy while she was unconscious, even putting on makeup. And then, only the camera's light remained, but things didn't go as planned. The chemicals caused a severe reaction. Tammy began to struggle to breathe and showed signs of distress. They panicked. In a hurry, they tried to cover up what had happened, called for help, but it was too late. Tammy passed away at the hospital. The official cause: accidental complications. No one suspected Karla or Paul. Weeks later, Paul returned to Tammy's resting place and recorded again. It was their first joint crime, and from that moment on, their darkness took full control. June 14, 1991. 14-year-old Leslie Mahaffy returned home late after attending a memorial service for a friend. The door was locked. Her family, upset about the time, hadn't left a way in. So Leslie waited alone, outside. As she stood in the dark, a car slowly approached. Behind the wheel was Paul. He began talking to her, offering a ride home. Leslie hesitated, but eventually agreed. That car didn't take her home. It drove straight into a nightmare. Paul brought Leslie to his house. Karla was already there, waiting inside. For several days, what happened behind those closed doors was unthinkable. Leslie was held captive. She endured unimaginable suffering. Paul filmed parts of it. Karla was there too, sometimes watching, sometimes helping. In the end, when Leslie could no longer be kept hidden, they ended her life. But what came next was even colder. To hide what they had done, Paul dismembered Leslie's body. Each part was sealed in concrete blocks, and the remains were buried near a river. Just one day after carrying out this horrific act, Paul and Karla got married. Karla wore a white dress and smiled. Guests laughed, posed for pictures. But their love story was built on silence, pain, and a hidden grave. April 16th, 1992, around 3 p.m. 15-year-old Kristen French was walking home from school. It was the same route she took every day, but that day would be her last time. Paul and Karla were waiting in a church parking lot. Karla held a map and pretended to ask for directions. Kristen stopped to help, and in that very moment, Paul attacked. He grabbed her and forced her into the car. It all happened in less than 30 seconds. In broad daylight, yet no one saw a thing. Kristen was held captive for days. She wasn't chained, because Paul and Karla believed she wouldn't escape. Instead, they wanted to break her spirit. Her hair was cut repeatedly. She was denied food, humiliated, and abused. Every moment was recorded on video. And this time, Karla wasn't just watching. She actively took part. But Kristen wasn't like the others. She didn't give in. She resisted. When they looked into her eyes, they saw someone who still had fight left in her. And to Paul, that was unacceptable. On Sunday, April 19th, they ended her life. Her body was hidden under an old rug and left in a ditch. It took 2 weeks before she was found. And this time, silence was no longer an option. Kristen's death shattered the conscience of a nation. Canada could no longer ignore what was lurking in the shadows. That darkness was about to be exposed. May 1993. After years of searching, police finally arrested the Scarborough rapist and his accomplice. But it didn't happen until a single mistake was made. Paul Bernardo, overly confident and arrogant, had slipped up. One night, while following a young woman, he left behind clues, enough for police to close in. The evidence collected at the time, along with DNA testing, confirmed his guilt. But the real shock was what they found inside the house. Hidden videotapes, footage showing the horrific treatment of victims, and undeniable proof that Karla was not just a bystander, but an active participant. Faced with the evidence, Karla confessed, but then came a plea deal, just 12 years in prison, with the chance of early release. The public was outraged. Many believed Karla was far more than an accomplice. Paul Bernardo was sentenced to life in prison, and while justice was served, at least in part, the trauma caused by years of fear and cruelty would never truly fade. If you enjoy real crime stories like this, don't forget to support the channel by subscribing, liking the video, and leaving a comment. This dark story revealed some of the most terrifying sides of human nature. Justice may have been served, but the pain and loss will never be forgotten. Remember, silence only feeds the darkness. See you in the next video.